Oh my gosh, it's 417 on the 17th. I really have a thing for that number. So it's 417 on the 17th, and it is Tuesday. And on because yesterday I saw a video. Let me think, because there's a whole bunch. Like the chaos is crazy. The but it said, because one of those, the letters that goes along with that number, there's a post. These people keep going. I don't know what, there's certain posts that are going around, and it have to do with this week on the dates. Because that's one thing is like, it would put these dates, and then it would trip me out how accurate these dates would be. So I'm really curious, because sometimes the people would be like, it's got to be now, and then it wouldn't be till the next year. So anyways, but it said that this week was going to be boom, 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 and more truth coming out. Last week, I think it said there was going to be a bunch, or was it this weekend that there was going to be something? But it has been truth, truth, truth. It just depends on how you look at it, what you pay attention to, and what you see, which some of the stuff that I've heard that is going on to the propaganda rags of the left is just totally made up. Like, I'm not seeing anything about some of the stuff that they're saying. And then, but that is one thing that he has said several times, is like the Guardian, the Atlantic, and still Atlantean, or whatever it's called, that they just make shit up. They just make it up. And yeah, that's just, and that's where the people are going to wake up to, like, what they listen to. They got themselves all worked up over what these people are talking about. And these people are a bunch of fucking liars, man. Make shit up. So, but, there is some things that, hold on. It's so funny, because I want to get my cup of tea, but then, it will start drawing my attention. So then I, like, it's comforting, but then it's a distraction. So, but it's really hot right now, so I can't guzzle it down yet. But anyway, so we got the two eyes, right? Going. And so we have this public conversation that we've become privy to, that the one guy, that is real, he is trying to go in cahoots with our guy. It would be the typical war machine would be here, and the people who run this place are a part of that machine. And so now they've got a riff in their thing, because this guy won't play. And he not only won't play, but he has a new agenda, and he's moving forward with his agenda, and that just really gets the rest of them. But some of this stuff, you gotta remember, is a big show. It's playing out for the show, and it's for like lessons. I swear to God, it's like we're getting these lessons, history lessons, all this stuff. We're getting lessons in life while this is all going on. And so because the real fella is trying to go in cahoots and go against the guy who ran, and he wants to take him out. Like, come on, me and you, we're going to take him out. And then it's like, becomes this public conversation to show the corruption, because there's a lot of people who think, like, over here, these are good guys that we need to protect. It's like, no, this is a mask. This is the beard for a lot of really, really bad guys. And so but the one thing that was on my mind too was back in 2020, Charlie Ward had said, I feel so sure he said, when Rand signs on, then we'll know we're at the end. And they're the last ones to sign on. And that guy has come out, the one that real wants to, let's get rid of him, because he's already come out yesterday or sometime in the past, I don't know, 24 to 48 hours, he's come out and said, hey, we don't want this. We just want peace. We just want peace. Well, that's the key to all of this stuff. It isn't just like, it's like they're taking the money away from the people who used it for evil to turn it into good. But it's not just like, oh, now we can all turn into rich assholes. It's not that. It's this other, it's a changing of energy. And so it's that energy of consumption and egomania and gluttony, lust. These things that have been accentuated are being rescinded, and so they are going in. From they've been in high tide, they're going out now, and and that's why the people have to purge it out of them's own selves, but so the energy. Okay, let me see what I was saying. Is okay, because on the money thing, it's bigger. It is bigger than what people think, because it's like a lot of people just think, like they just want this money so they can turn into money grubbing assholes, and that is where the world is changing. And that is what a lot of things are happening to really get people to realize what's important in the world, what matters. That's why there's lots of loss, because it shifts gears in people to show them what really matters in life. And we've all been out of balance, because we've been living in the high tide of gluttony, lust, this consumption, greed, control, hierarchy, black and white, and because the battle changes when you have more of a alignment to the purpose of it, and you aren't in the battle all the time trying to change things. So, anyways, the money thing. So because it's gonna go like towards communities, to build up communities. Well, there's lots, like West Virginia is getting wiped out right now. I don't know what parts or whatever, but they've got severe flooding that I don't know what it's going to end up being, if it's broken dams or clouds opened up on top of them. I have no idea. But it's a lot of damage. And then, of course, like the Atlantic or whatever that is, reporting like, now he's ended FEMA. Now these people are fucked, and it's like, what? Let's go ask these North Carolina things out, like, how's it going? Because he ended it because it's fucking corrupt fucking bullshit. It just takes money and takes grant money and everything else and doesn't do shit for the people. So, yeah, let's go see. Let's go find out, like, how many people have been helped by these people and how much of the money has gone into their trips because they had to go talk about what it's like to go help people or some bullshit. Probably had to go to meetings in the Bahamas to talk about gender identification on the job or some bullshit. It's like just nonsense. And then the people who just stay working at that, who don't get triggered by the nonsense, or just become more eaten up by the system. They just get engulfed, enveloped into it. So they just play along like, well, this is life. Just being a fucker. That's the way it goes. So, because you know when you're just being bullshit. Your business is, oh yeah, they pay for this and pay for that. Well, who? Where did that money come from? Oh, grants. Oh, okay. So we all paid for that. So, anyways, so they got the bullshit with all that. And, okay, so what it really would be more as how I see it is, and I've said this a bunch of times, but this is how I still see it. These disasters are going to happen. Something's about to go, and which is going to change the money situation. But that is going to seem very hostile for a minute, and maybe that's when like the power grid and stuff is going to go down, because they have to switch us over to this other too. So there's a lot of things that have to go down, and then people are really dependent on it. So people are gonna have reactions, and so all these different parts of the system are holding on to it for dear life. And so the when the money thing goes, though, it's going to be like these freedom cities he's been talking about. So it's going to be like, trying to get people to go to other places. Like they were saying about going in and rebuilding North Carolina and whatever. When I don't think it's going to be on the map. I mean, you can go look and try and figure out exactly what cities and stuff are in there, but that whole landscape is going to be changing in there. And so, I don't know. I just know that there's going to be a part where there's going to be a lot of destruction, and there's going to be people moving into new places. And the new places are going to be like the great frontier. It's going to be it's essentially like that kind of thing. Like we all have, like back, whatever. I can't even get over this. And the people argue, yeah, I mean, our country's 250 years old. Well, that's how old the army is. You guys looking at the history, I've even had this person, well, no, you're getting confused between 1776 and that battle, and then the Civil War. That was 100 years later. It's like, I'm not getting confused. I'm asking who the hell is running this shit. Like, we're celebrating that, like, who were the Yankees? The farmers were the ones protecting themselves in 1776. So that was an automatic enlistment. Then, when they took off the Great Frontier, battling all of the tribes to take the land, but pushing people out of the way, and before, I still can't remember, they weren't called the Mounties. Those are Canadian cops or something, but it was something. Whatever, they were this, I don't know, the show F Troop, even though it was a lot of nonsense, but they had like these stations where these guys, which I think when I look at it, it seems like it was all like ones like more the crown brought over, like they're gonna fight these ones, well, we're gonna take over the rest of this land. Like it was like they found pirates and criminals and stuff and sent them over to America to start this army. But it's not like the army of the United States. But I don't know, would it become the army? And then it went through this part where they hated each other and they fought over who wanted slaves and who didn't. Did that even really happen? Like, I don't know. It's just so many people are just like, they don't even question, don't even look at it. They don't even try and make it make sense. It's just like, yeah, accept this, accept that. Just that's what it is. It's like, what? It doesn't make any sense. Because in World War I, even, it was like they weren't a set up army. They were like they were still having to have people come in World War II too. They had to have all these guys come in. There were tons and tons of guys, like whole towns of guys were killed. It's like, it wasn't like they had this specialized army that was going out and battling other armies and stuff like that. It was like, no, shit goes down and you guys get over here and take care of it. And they've been doing this fucking shit. Same thing with Nam, man. They went to, everybody's got to join. Everybody's got to get in there. Well, where is the thing we're celebrating? It sounds like you're just taking people off the street and they're just sticking a gun in their hand, making them do some sit-ups and push-ups for a couple weeks and telling them to get out there and kill people. It's like, it's obscene. So, obscene, absurd, obscenities. It's stupid. It's like, and then I don't know. All I know is that the last celebration of this magnitude of the country was 200 of its birthday. Now we've just anchored on to, well, it's 250 years now. It's the Army's birthday. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know. People are just, patriotism, that's what we are. It's like, well, question, who was this Army? What were they doing? Because the story we've been told is like, so they just came in, battled through, killed everybody. Then they got into a fight with each other. Then they still couldn't get their shit together and create a force that was the group of people protecting everybody. No. Then they had to go get into more problems and just pull people off the fields and tell them, get out there and fight for us. It's like, oh my God. It's irritating. I swear to God, I think it was a lot more of the, um, it seems like it was like in the 70s. I don't know that they were doing it all before, but where it started being, I don't remember what they would call them, but like guys would start trying to get guys to join, and they were called recruiters or something. They started popping up like in malls and different places. They even start getting little office buildings. You know, you want to join the army, recruit, come on, we'll tell you all these great things. And guys that felt kind of lost in high school, weren't sure what they were going to do. Like my brother, he was trying to escape his life, and lots of guys, you know, well, just get out of here. Like they say I'm going to have a house and food and they're going to train me and all this stuff. So I pulled a lot of guys in to do that, and I don't think that they all knew, you know, I mean, it was all a bullshit, but that to me is when they started being more like, yeah, well, we're going to get these guys in here and we're going to train them, and then we're going to have these guys all set. But then the guys don't stay in forever. Well, some that do, and then they become generals or whatever, and those people, that's where we got into some real problems, because some of them went dark. Some went light and some went dark, but the dark overtook the light, and the light had to hide until it could bring in more light, and the light could come together so it could go and push back on the dark. But that's where we're in, is the pushback on the dark. And the exposing of all this stuff. I say that they're exposing this 250 years, like you put together the math and you see like what we've been battling, what we, that was our main thing, is like to battle. And I don't know, is to give you some kind of perspective on America and stuff, because when some other countries just look at us as like we are the war machine, but we really are. And it goes way back. Like fucking Eisenhower and all those guys going way back. And these people are like, yeah, well, it was the best thing. George Washington was our first guy in charge of the army. It's like, I don't know. I don't know about this shit. I don't know. In my perspective, I see something that apparently some of these other people don't see. But anyways, back on this money situation. So the money is going to go back into our world, but it's going to be where you can tap into it. So before, where we had stumbling blocks all the time to block us from being able to get ahead. I forgot, I got to talk louder because she's going to town somewhere. So before, everything was set in place for us to not be able to get ahead. You had to jump through hoops and become a puppet in order to get anywhere in this world. And so, but the energy is flipping. And so now it's going to flip into where what you put out comes back to you. So you go and work, and it can be, you know, work hard in your garden. Then it's going to give back to you abundance of food. You go work hard on a project, and something will happen. You'll get something back, whatever it is. It could be some kind of funding. It could be anything, but it is going to become this wave of, this is going to accelerate of prosperity and abundance. And just like when they're building these communities, there's going to be tons of homes and land. And then when these new cars come out, I think they're going to probably, either cars are going to be super cheap, or they're going to, like every family gets one, but if you want two, you can buy another one, but the costs are going to be a lot better. And that probably will also have to do with machines building things. But then, see, there's going to have to be guys that are specialized in keeping the machines running. And so even though we'll have machines doing stuff, there still has to be the machinery. We're not going to be able to just turn into a lazy, fat society. That's what we're trying to move out of. Now we're going to move into, oh, so what I do is going to come back to me. So I can go and work or whatever, and stuff will come back. I won't be sitting there, climbing a waterfall. And so it's going to make a big shift in people's lives where they can start getting ahead and things start coming to them. They start getting to enjoy life. So there's going to be these shifts in the money thing. But I think there's going to be like some types of reparations and some kind of things. I think that is a lot with the class action lawsuits. I think there's going to be more and more lawsuits and stuff where people are going to get more money back. And then I think there's going to be money that's going to come. Like I wonder, when they're looking through or whatever with court cases, and then they see, all the court cases where people got fucked over, if they're gonna, let the people win the cases now. The corporation just, kicked everybody's ass. And I see movies, like I just saw another one where people, like the corporations just get these lawyers and they've got endless money and you just can't fight it. And they win all the time. They can just fuck people over and win. And this one was another one of, this one was a work one. And they're poisoning all these people, but it's the only job in town. And so they would do this for a long while it seems like over, by like West Virginia, Ohio, and stuff like that. But they would go in these little towns and they would start a corporate big business thing. And then because the way they scratch each other's back, but so the corporations would start being able to just dump their stuff like in the water or out in the air. So places were getting polluted and people were getting really sick. And well, also people working in the places. So a lot of people and that was the only jobs in town. It's the only places come and they get away with shit, and and that's where they came up with, I think, OSHA and all this stuff. But it was all like a facade. It's like it really will fuck the small business people, but the big ones, they get away with everything. And because then you got to go up against all their lawyers and shit. The corporate protection is always protecting itself because it's the beast. You need small business that comes in and tries, well, the OSHA's going to be on your ass. You're going to get fines and everything else. So but in this case, it was something with color, some kind of pigmentation or something, but it was so poisonous. And then they said that the women it was going to affect their babies, and then they couldn't get sued by these women for working here, and now they're having deformed babies and stuff. So they made all the women get sterilized. If you wanted to work there and you're a woman, you had to be sterilized. Well, then it even came out that it was affecting the men, and then it was the discrimination between the men and women, because the men should have been sterilized too, but they can't force you to be sterilized with a job. But when there's the only job in town and everybody's hungry and everybody, you feel lucky to have this job, like, and so see, they get control, and people, all these ladies were going and getting sterilized even when they didn't want to. They were crying, they were all tore up about it. It was really pretty sad show. It was good. It was really good though, because it was a lot of the female empowerment of them coming together and standing up. They ended up being like $75,000 because they just took the settlement, because the corporation was going to just, there was no way to win. But the attorney who was representing them was the ACLU, and they had never even heard of that. And then they had to go to New York to go talk to him. And then then that lady, the lawyer from there, must have done some research over this corporation and saw more shenanigans. And so she came to represent them. So she came to where they were and stayed there for a long time to do this. But anyways, they didn't win in court, but they each got like $14,000. But that is how this corporation has been doing for a long time. They've been poisoning whole cities and shit like that, and governments just let them get away with it. So, anyways, so so the things are going to switch, and towns are going to start becoming like abundant and stuff, and it's also going to start being leadership roles for people, because there's going to be that's all going to be opening up. We're going to be ending the control by the creepy corporation, but people are going to start stepping up into certain roles in communities, and that's where it's going to start having like certain vibe in the community or whatever. And so there'll be different like frequencies. Not all of the communities are going to all be the same, and they're going to be a lot more independent. And so just like when you're here and you go to another country and they have like certain rules and stuff, so it'll be like that, only it's not going to be like whole countries, it's going to be communities. Like if you want to be involved in their community, this is how their community runs, this is their rules. And and we're not going to be so much like this interfering, like, well, I want this community, but I'm going to change it. It's not going to be so much like that. It's going to be, to me, it looks more natural, more like nature, like how a pack works. And then if somebody else comes in to try and go against that pack, and plus they have this all through history, but it's the battle between these two. And then, so, I don't know, and what this one can offer and what this one can offer. And I know like in the tribe kind of mentality or philosophy, if it's not good for everybody, it's not good for anybody. And so I just don't feel like we're going to go so much into this like fighting people and stuff. You know, it would be more like the mindset would be more like you'd go to this town and you'd be like, well, I really like this and I really like this, but I don't really want to have it like that, but I'm going to go start my own and, you know, start building a town up around whatever. Because there's going to be lots of communities that are going to build up. Just like there's tons of little towns around it. There always has been. And there's going to be more of that. Not so much of people being all jam-packed into places like how it is now. And it will be more evenly distributed, I think, over industry or whatever, and possibilities of we'll see, but everything is gonna go much more into this vibe of fairness. And so it's not gonna be so out of balance. It's gonna go more into a balance. But we're still, I mean, it's gonna be going for a while. Yeah, I mean, this could take like this. Just getting to where we are has already taken like 10 years from when I started seeing. So I mean, we could have 10, 15, 20 years left ahead of going through, but that's where we're still going. There's no change in that. Where we're going is where we're going. That's like set. It's what happens in between. It's hard to see because when you are looking, you see it bigger. You don't see each little thing. It takes more and more focus to get into each little thing. I think that is like where, you know, you can start getting the ability to time travel or something if you can get so focused on a moment in time. But otherwise, it's like a vague, like big picture. You can see it. It's like a movie that goes real fast, kind of. And so you can see, and, you know, it always is this really happy fields of flowers and butterflies and people just, you know, living their life, not rushing around. And so that is coming. That's just the way it is. Hold on. I almost finished it. Hold on. Oh, maybe this stuff makes my nose run. But there was so much spraying. Oh my God, so much spraying yesterday. I couldn't even believe it. Where when it goes crazy with that, then I think, oh, then something's going on behind the scenes. They're trying to hide. And as the sun was getting over to the setting range, then, oh my God, to me there was like, you could see totally different skies. It was so trippy looking. The sky was crazy looking. And it's so crazy because I'm always out there looking up at the sky and I don't think anybody else is. I don't think anybody pays any attention how crazy looking it is. It's crazy looking. I don't even know how to explain it. It was like this one set that was coming in like this one sky, and then there was like this other one over here, and then there was like this other thing here, but then it was all like meeting in this middle, and it was this weird cloud looking thing that went way up, and then the sun was like going up through it or something, and the way the light was coming out was like, oh my god, that is so crazy looking. And then you have one sky that's like a little darker and totally different cloud, totally different everything. Then you have this other one and it's a different color with these other things. And then you have this one over here. It's got its own thing going on and none of them go together. It's the weirdest looking thing. And so, hold on, let me finish this real quick. That's good. And so the sky did look wacky, which I feel like we're getting so close. But this is something too I want to explain. But anyways, let me finish with this. So Charlie had said because everything on this changing the back to the gold and everybody's going on one set money thing. It's equality worldwide. And tons of money is going to be dumped back into places like Venezuela, and it's going to turn into fucking coolest shit. Well, the places that don't go underwater, because that's the other thing too, is we got places are going to be going underwater, and that's going to be happening. I think it's just going to keep happening and happening. I mean, it's happening in some places, West Virginia, Indonesia, or something like. There's a whole bunch of places, and it can happen at any day, any time, and anywhere, and so. But then the money is going to get dumped into building places up, and places are going to become super cool, and there's going to be a lot of equality. There's going to be a lot more of being able to travel and go and see the places you want to see, and that was another movie that I was watching yesterday. It was about a portal, and this girl went to it when she was little by accident, and it was I think it's by Alaska, and it's an island between two islands or something. And when you go on it, time and space changes. So when you're on there, whatever you're doing, you're just doing. When you go back home, it's been days to years. So time is going different in there than it is in here. And the last time that she had gone in, she comes out and she's still young, and everybody else is old. And she said it only seemed like a couple minutes. So anyways, but that's how portals and holes in time and space work. They are in a different vibration. They're a different thing happening, and they're all around us. And then we will be able to learn how to maneuver through them as access points to get to places faster, because that's how it works. And so I think we're gonna travel a lot faster. Our movements are gonna be different. It's gonna be a lot more freedom in movement, and but there will be stepping down. Because people are so used to control that they that it's like a step down process. So it's going to take time. I don't know that we're going to go from this to that. The thing where we're going to go from this to that is this abrupt moment in time, and it is like a thunderbolt that it affects the world. So it's like this thunderbolt. Like, to me, it's like these lights coming on or the lights coming off. It's something that is like a thunder that it affects everybody at the same time. And that is the soul coming on. And no matter anybody, me, every single person is going to see something different, something new when the lights come on. It's going to affect every single person. To some people, it's going to affect them in a hard, dark way. And some people, it's going to affect them in a good way. It's going to that's kind of like the two energies going, I think. But everybody's going to be affected some way or another, because it is your soul turning on. And it is like your soul's judgment of self that you will see. That's the time of mirrors. So you're going to see your own judgment of self. Because that's one thing that people don't realize when they're hiding who they are. You're hiding yourself because you're judging yourself. So you're the judge. You're the judge and jury who's decided you're not good enough for everybody. So you're the one hiding yourself. And so that is, and the soul doesn't like that. The soul wants to be seen. The soul wants to be heard. The soul feels stifled and sad when you are crushing it down to please somebody else's. And so this is where it's going to come out and just rise and shine. This is that moment in time that Christ consciousness returns, because everybody returns to their soul. They all of a sudden it's like you hear it loud and clear, and that is this moment of awakening or the remembering. And so that activates this side of oneself. And that is where this huge healing process is going to start happening, because the soul wants to feel good, it wants to be good, it wants to look good, it want, you know, it knows how to love itself. You just got to come into terms with it. You've got to stop worrying about what everybody else thinks and start focusing on what you feel, what you think. And so, but that's when your soul starts coming in loud and clear and gives you guidance. But that's where a lot of people who haven't been listening to it are going to hit into this wall. It's going to turn them the other direction, because they're going to see the truth behind a lot of things. And so that is this big, moment in time of change. And that, to me, is still, that's not this other thing, this rapture thing where all these people are going to split apart. Like, these people are going this direction, these people are going this direction. I've always seen that as being like a year or year and a half after this awakening thing. Because the awakening thing gives everybody the opportunity to do the work, to raise their vibration. In the separation, to me, is who did the work and who didn't get as far with the work, or their focus is still to go with these experiences, because it's a deeper level than just like, you did the work, you didn't, so you get to go, you don't. It's not like that. It's way deeper than that. So but there's going to be like a year and a half, to me, it seems, of this healing, which is going to be a lot of, it's going to be very emotional. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to go on during that period of time. And it's going to still be the awakening thing. It's still going to be like you're having to see the reality around you. And it's going to hurt some people, because, we've told them and told them and told them, you're eating soil and grain. And they're like, nah, you're crazy. Well, you're going to find out. There's going to be all sorts of very uncomfortable things people are going to be finding out, and then they're going to realize their own blockages to information. And so that's going to be a part of the healing. So it's going to be going through that to get to the point where your vibration is where it is. That's the separation. I don't see how that separation can occur at the state that we're in. These people are lost, and people have no clue. So there has to be this awakening thing. And so that's how I see it. So we have this thing that could happen at any moment that is going to be like this thunderous thing that turns everybody on at the same time. But it is like it turns everybody in a new direction at the same time. So it's this shift. It's this huge shift in consciousness, this huge shift on the planet, because micro, macro. So it's just going to ripple out. So everything that shifts is going to be this huge turning in another direction. And then that's when it's going to be, suddenly feeling naked, and everybody knows. And so that's going to be the dirty shame and guilt of the things that you've done. And, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. It's going to be hard, because it's going to be things like, I can't even believe I said that. I'm such a mean person. And people are going to get real stuck on that. I'm feeling like they're a mean, horrible person. It's like, no, that's why you got to learn to love yourself and accept yourself. Like, we all have a good side, we all have a dark side, and our dark side can be very reactive, it can be angry, it can be mean, it can be bitter. So it can be all of them, you know. But there's a reason, too. You've gone through a lot of different experiences to create the person you are. And so you got to have respect for all your experiences, too. You're not expected to be perfect. You're not expected to just be of the light. You're expected, it's not even an expectation, but the foundation of the vibration is that you having your signals not crossed. So you being in balance is your vibration regulation kind of thing. So it's where you exist is in your vibration. And so the so we have that. And then once this thing happens, that is going to change a lot of people's way of looking at things. So there's a lot of things that people look at it one way right now, but this thing's going to happen, and then all of a sudden they're going to see things differently. And that is going to be where you have to put the pieces together for yourself. And that's why, to me, keep in mind of what it is you want. You know, do you want to go towards love and acceptance? Then put your pieces together towards that. Or do you want to stay in a hostile environment where everybody's arguing and fighting and sleeping around and getting sick with each other and all this dark, toxic world? You know, and if you don't want that, then you got to pull back from that and pull towards this. But that is a cleansing to get over there, because you're carrying all the dirt from this one. And so you got to cleanse yourself to get over here, and that's work. And so there's going to be tons of that going on. And that, I think, is why there's going to be tons and tons in healing that's going to be, because it is mind, body, spirit. It's more than just your body. It's how you look at things. It's how your spirit is coming forward and stuff. So there's more to it than just, I saw a thing yesterday too, and it was talking about the senses, and he was saying that there's 15 senses. The 5 senses are your body senses, but then your mind, and I think it has to do with intuition, fantasy, the different things that you have available that you can perceive in your mind. I guess not everybody has all of this stuff. Like, people can't all look at something and picture how things can be. They can't see forward past what they're looking at. And so that's a developed sense. And that's what I think one of the ones I talk about. It's like you're just looking into something. Like I said, it's like these movies, when you use your mind with the telepathy and communication, then it can come in like through these little movies, through pictures, through just like this sudden knowing, like someone just told you or reminded you of something. It's like, oh yeah. And then there's like a lot of expansion, like you see more and stuff. So, I think that is, that, I don't know if that would be a sense of your mind or your spirit. But so then your spirit has its own senses. I don't remember all the different things, but each like has 5 senses or something. And so anyways, but this is a part of the development or whatever, is through your mind, so your mind, body, spirit. So the healing is going to have more than just going to a place and to a doc and having them stitch you up or cut you open or stick something in your mouth or stick something somewhere and call it good, tell you you're good, there's nothing wrong with you. And so it's going to be more people listening to their selves, because your self tells you. It's just some people don't want to listen, and so they just shut it down. They don't want to feel guilt. They don't want to think about this or whatever. Well, there's communication you need to listen to and not look at it that way. If your body's telling you, hey, you've had way too many beers this week, it's like, back off. I need a beer. I don't want to listen to you. But it's trying to signal to you, like, you got shit going on in here. Like, you need to stop. but you fight against it, and then you end up getting sicker or whatever the case may be. Because I even saw a thing like, if you have anything wrong with your eyes, you got problems with your liver. And so the different parts of us affect different things. And so people can be like going blind and thinking, well, it's no big deal. We'll have another beer. It's no big deal. But maybe it is. Maybe you need to stop and think about it. Maybe you need to communicate with your soul and ask, like, tell me the truth here. not go to the doctor, but ask yourself. Like, be honest with yourself. And so, because you have communication, you have like this little part of you that is watching what's going on inside of you. And so you need to be in communication. Then there's the part of you that's outside of you, that you need to be in communication with that. And that, and that's who's about to be heard loud and clear, megaphone to the ear with all these people. Is it's all of a sudden you're going to hear and you're going to see things that you didn't hear and see before. And it's going to be everybody. And I'm excited to see, what is coming, but some people are not going to see what's coming. And the ones that don't, I think it's because it's going to be hard. But then we're going to go into this time where there's lots of healing, lots of people who have been healing, lots of people who understand with the mind and and this quantum thing. And then there's going to be also these vibration, changing your vibration of your vessel. Like, so weird because the vessel doesn't even exist. But anyways, everything is so weird. It's just so weird. But it's like it's all an illusion, but we just play it out like this is real. And I bet that's this 3-dimensional attachment that we have. And so, but the more you pull free from that, you're more, it's like, this isn't even real. It's so weird. And so the people, so in the process of so once the thing goes and there starts being all this healing, and there's going to still be resistance that's going to happen, it seems like to me, because they're here programmed in a certain way, so that their program is set on their parameters of what it is that's going to happen in theirs. So there's ones that are set. They're going to go through this other stuff, but then they're going to go through this separation. And I don't know if it's just like they reach a point where it's like it's too much, it's too hard to break some of the programs, so they're going to go play those programs out. And so that's what's curious, because I was even seeing this yesterday. I was seeing, what was it? It was kind of gave me the creeps. It was like a god. Was it in some kind of show or something? It was like a god. And then you take this group of people, and they're all worshiping them. And then that God gives this restriction over what happens when you die. You come with me, come with me. But this God can create a reality. So he can make you think that that is the whole thing. That's the whole shebang. Makes you go into their reality. It's heaven, sit at my feet and sing to me. Give me some grapes. And the God, and everybody's there. And worship of this being, when it's really just another being creating another world, another reality. I was like, it really gave me the creeps. It's just like, man, I swear to God, that is happening. That is happening. There is, I don't know. I say, watch out, whoever you follow, because like, you are a sovereign soul. And the more you go into your sovereignty and the less you're dependent on others, the more stronger and higher vibration you become. And so, anyways, I say go towards independence and sovereignty, towards all this stuff. Not like, well, this person, I'm hanging on this person's coattail. No, I would continue going towards sovereignty, freedom, independence, because that is what your soul, you know, to be your own little orb out there flying around. And that could be very much where we're going to even get into. Like, even, you know, having flying cars may be just a step down to where we just start, you know, creating our own little ship and take off. Just like we turn into Sonic. See how he can be there and then he just goes fast. So, and then we'll just go. You know, maybe that's what we're going to do. Like, it's just going to be zoom and then we're there. So, I don't know. I didn't know we're going towards something magnificent, something real exciting. And I've been on the many things Charlie had said, like in 2020, because everything is about this peace treaty. And that's why I keep saying that. Like, a lot of this stuff is threats and stuff. These people are already signed on to the peace treaty. Like, you lose all your gold. You lose it all if you go against the peace in the treaty. So, in all these places want their gold. And so, and they're a huge distribution. And so, you know, like China, Russia, all these different places that have been signed on to the BRCS for a long time. But, you know, Rand hadn't, and he had said that that was, I don't know if that is just part of the show or not. Maybe they did, and this is just a big show. But he had said in 2020 they would be the last one to sign on. And when they signed on, that would be a clear indication that it was about to turn. And then they've got all this drama going over money and stuff, and so much to me to keep getting it in our mind. The war machine. 250 years, like we're 250 years old and we're celebrating the like, what the hell? So, anyways, it is, to me, it's to bring in the focus of the war machine. And the war machine, you know, it was out there to destroy places, take resources and control the money. You control the resources, you control the people. And so, and that was a big problem with Rand. You know, they had some good resources everybody wanted. And so they had to control the people. And then they started a course through the control. It seems like it's very often the control is through God himself. And so, you know, they changed it to where the women had to cover themselves and men were in control. And I don't even know all the rules and all the stuff there. But, you know, it became very controlled. Well, I mean, that's what they want to do on everything. And, I mean, because Venezuela is very controlled. It's controlled more like through poverty and crime. And over there, it's controlled through the God police. Like, oh, I saw a piece of your hair. Fine, get the machete. She's done. Saw her hair today. So, you know, the fear of, like, what they'll do to you if you don't do what they say. But these ones are kept in line by, you know, the people who have a collar on, and these people are kept in line by the people who tear their collars off. So it's the same thing, though. It's all the same people running the fucking show. It's just it depends on how they run it in different places. And so, and they keep the war entanglement going all the time. It's, I think, part of the war thing is it's a big part of the laundry system because they can move money around through different ways. But it's another thing is it's a huge distraction in life to keep you focused on, you know, their problems. And then takes the focus off of you and your life, so your life becomes more, you know, you get sicker, more depressed, life doesn't go well, you know, because they just keep fucking rattling shit, making problems all the fucking time. Like, you got tons and tons of young guys now, or they're got the threat of, like, you're going to be forced to go in. Isn't that funny? The same thing. War machine. And so, and they're going to be forcing these guys, which is also linked to bringing up this thing that happened, that now a lot of people have certain sicknesses, and a lot of them can't even pass the physicals to be able to get in there and be on the front lines to protect us. So, anyways, but they are deploying, there's supposedly deployment going all over the place. So there's shit going. And however it all plays out, you know, we'll see. I'm feeling super hopeful, you know, that now that the RAN has come out and said, hey, we want we want peace, baby. And so they sign on the dotted line, and that changes, because I guess that is where they can, because of the oil. So that is how they can, uh, it'll be something. Something's going to happen that's going to tumble the money situation. And he's already got it teetering because of all of the, the tariffs things that he's been putting in, because it blocks them from being able to make all the money how they were making it before. And so it brings it back to the people, like us, back to where we could have our businesses and we can get ahead and stuff, and not the, these other ones that have been fucking us for so long. And so, but so that has something to do too with this money shift thing. So there's more things happening on that, and then plus the biblical aspect of the real being sky high, and it seems, I don't know. I've seen things of like, well, what happened to the Golden Dome or whatever? Because they had a protective shield over the whole of their country or something. And so somehow it's down or something, and they're getting blasted. So who knows? I mean, this week they said it's going to be boom, boom, boom. So it's going to be more. And boom can also be information. Big information, but a lot of people aren't paying attention to the information, because to me, I hear, Army 250, Army this, oh, war that, oh, all these different things. It's like, oh, what is it making me think about? It's making me think about this war machine, and how long has this been going on, and they've been doing this same shit for so fucking long, and when do we put a stop to it? And we are not fighting their battles. And so I've seen lots of young guys saying, I'm not fighting your shit. Put me in prison. I'm not fighting it. And, but that is also the change, because before, the boys would have been out there, I'm going to protect my cities. I'm going to protect my people, and running to join in, not with all of this hope and stuff, not having any idea of what they were getting themselves into. And they've got that, because I think 1, 2, and Nam, and probably even more in there, because they had the Korean one in there. They've had other little ones where they're sending guys out and shit. Afghanistan, like a lot of these guys, they were surprised once they got in of what was really going on. And it can bring out a real dark side in people, and it can also give them PTSD and nightmares. But sometimes it brings out the dark side, and that's what they're always trying to look for, the funnel system. Let's give them a good job. Let's make them city council. So, anyways, but that's how their weird shit goes. But now it's changing, and so if this starts the money thing, like, well, I don't know how. It could play it out a lot of different ways, but if it's going to be like our house crashing, our home mortgage crashing, and then the Wall Street, but it could be a business. It could be like, well, Nike's crashing. It takes down the whole Wall Street. I don't know. The oil, now something with the oil or whatever. Now it's all crashing. So whatever, something's going to start a crash that's not going to come back from. And so that, because that's going to be when we're switching over to the other, which is this quantum. It's this quantum system. It's going to be quantum everything. And, but it's based on gold. So it's based on true assets, where they have not had that. They've just been milking this fucking, just making money when they want money, and putting us further in debt, making us have to keep working for their fucking problems. It's just the whole thing is so absurd. So it's all switching, and so we're not going to have all this debt of the countries. We're going to have to pay. That's all going to be absolved, dissolved, all these different ones. Who even knows in some of these other countries what their debt calculation is? Are they telling us all, we're all in debt, we're all in debt? It's like that ball's being dropped. That's ending. And so it will be, and then there's going to be all the disasters and places needing to be built back up. So there's going to be tons of money going into that. There's going to be tons of people who are stepping into certain roles, that there will be tons of money that will be going into building the communities, building the schools, building the centers, those social centers in your towns and stuff. There's going to be just money, money, money to go into building into the things we want. There's going to be tons of technology, so we're not going to be building Flintstones. We're going to be building with higher technology and stuff. So things are going to be making big changes. I mean, for all we know, we're going to be 3D, 3D, computer things they're going to be building. Because I've seen where they've been using it to make building supplies. Maybe you get your computer and you get your 7, it puts out all your supplies, tells you how to put it together and everything. I don't know. I just know that it's going to be going into more highly sophisticated. It's not going to be so cumbersome or something. It's not going to be like where men are going to have to go out and chop down trees to build a house. It's going to be the merging of technology and human kind of thing, but it's going to be on a positive side. All this fear and stuff is to bring it into attention, but we're going to go more into where they're trying to build up this big war between the man and machine, but we're going to go more into the respect with nature, the respect for machine. We're going to go more into a harmonized time, so it's not going to be this battle zone that it is now. We're battling nature, we're battling the machine, we're battling each other, we're battling the government, we're battling sickness, we're battling to survive and stay alive with no money and stuff. So anyways, but it's all going to be, resituating in a different way. And so anyways, I feel hopeful that this week will be some boom, 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 and get us, and that we are close on the sky thing, especially because that one guy who was in communication before, when he was talking to these other beings, and they told him that when the sparks are flying between the ran and the real, and it's all up in there, that there was going to be more that was going to happen in the sky. Like the ships are coming, something happens in the sky, and all of a sudden we see all the ships, which that can be that moment, that thunderous moment. All of a sudden, the fake sky goes off, and all of a sudden we see what's behind. And that was also in that QHHT that girl was talking about. She said at this moment in time, all of a sudden it's like the lights go out for a minute, and all of a sudden we can see everything, what's real, what's out there, and then they come back on. But when they come back on, it comes back on different, which also goes with this whole thing with the power's going to go down and then it's going to come back on. But then I believe it's going to come back on different. Like we're going to be on a different system. We're going to be in a different way. But it's going to be this moment of clarity that's going to flip it. So whatever it is, if it's the sky, their fake sky going off and suddenly seeing that, because I'm telling you, there's ones coming, and seeing like ships and asteroids. Like I don't know what all we're gonna see, but it's gonna look different than what we are seeing. And so, if that's the thing, or if it's that whatever happens and you see it in your mind, but seeing it sometimes in your mind is just like seeing in your eyes. And so you can see it in your mind and feel just the same as like if you just saw it out there. So it can be something inside where we all are going to see something inside, which is the connection also with your spirit to be seen. So I don't know what it's going to be, how physical it's going to be. I know there's still going to be rocking and rolling because we still have a lot of land mass that's going to be covered with water. And we still have volcanoes going off all over the place. And so we still have a lot going, and earthquakes happening, floods happening. Like that's going to keep going too. And so if those scary, and you can be in a place where those are going to be happening. And, but if you are there when it happens, it's for your storyline. It's because you're a part of that storyline. It wasn't because you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's impossible. You're always where you're supposed to be. It's impossible to not be. And it's like you're fighting yourself all the time. You're fighting yourself if you think you can be somewhere where you're not supposed to be. And so the more you can just tap into your own energy of being present in the moment, you're always where you're supposed to be. It's impossible not to be. Then the more that you can find peace and security in your mere existence. So anyways, but to me, it seems like that a lot of this stuff that's going, and then you have people still not seeing things at all with clarity. I don't know what is going with him. Last I'd heard, he had signed that EO, well, yeah, these people can stay if they are going to work and be a part of our community. Yeah, there's no problem with that. And it would be because that, outraged a lot of people. And, well, we want closed border. We want this. And what about the people who've come legally? Well, even if the people ended up saying, well, we're going to stay, there's going to go into a fairness thing. But there's also going to be this opening that's going to keep occurring. So it's not going to be the same jumping through hoops. It's going to be, I don't know, if you're a part of a community, you're a part of a community. And it's not going to be so restricted by borders or something. So I don't know how it's going to play out. But, they could be like, well, everybody who's here, we just need you to register and come in and take a test, see if you really want to be an American or whatever it's going to be to make the other people feel like there's some kind of fairness going and there's still some vetting going on and stuff. But I still see us going towards this very much like, but people aren't going to be just going all over the place. There will be like nomadic kind of people, but it won't be, there's going to be so many people who want to build, that want to create, that want to build a community and create relationships on a different level. And so it's, but there could be places like where, you're in America and you're going and you go into a town and it's, it's the whole Mexican town where all the people are, of certain culture and stuff. But whereas before we'd be like, well, this is America. Can't do that. This is America. But it's going to be like, no, this is their land too. They want to, why can't they have whatever community they want? And so it's going to be where, yeah, you could go into some, you may not even understand their language, but people will probably, just as dialects were created over where people live in certain slang words that get used and stuff, there'll probably be like different languages that people will develop in communication around, like where you'll go to some place and it's like, boy, they talk way different. But there's also going to be a big lean into telepathy, so there's going to be a lot more of telepathy being used, which I know it's already going. It's just when you start tapping into it, start paying attention and talking back. But you can hear people, like just start listening. And so anyways, I just feel like this week could be a good week. God, for all the times we've gone. And so I don't know, it's just hard to believe we're just halfway through 2025. It's like, what the hell? So we'll just see how it plays out. But things are, that's how I see it though, with this big moment in time that is this thunderbolt of change. And then, but that isn't the parting our ways. So we still have things to go. We still have doors to open, minds to open, things to start seeing things differently. So there's going to be a lot of fluctuation and change and transition through this next period of time. But then, confirmation, then there's going to be the splitting apart, which the Nova Scotia kids were found, of course, brutal. Like I don't know how dismembered or if it was an animal thing or whatever. But yeah, their parts aren't head over here and stuff, but they were found together. So, but yeah, they're gone. So they could have been put out there. So there's going to be more investigation. So we'll hear more about that. I think they're still chasing the one guy who did his little kids, and he's still on the run. There's just so many, though. There's so many. I just can't even believe how many people are. Uh, but, when you go deeper into it, too, there's these soul things working out. And so, and it's way too above your pay grade to try and figure out everybody's storyline. It's like most of the people can't even figure out their own. So don't waste time trying to figure out everybody else's. It's like, that's your storyline. Like, I don't know, you got yourself in deep in some karmic problems there. Like, I stay away from, doing other people in, and I try and focus on not like really being mean to people. Like, you got to really question yourself over the things you say. Are you trying to be mean? Are you trying to hurt someone's feelings? Because that is where you stop being just reactive, and that is one thing too, is because the Schumann's been going crazy, and then you start hearing the people's interpretation, and they'll start saying, well, you have these symptoms, these symptoms, these symptoms, which I've been having a lot of the symptoms. The sleeping, so tired. My mom too, she's been so tired. It's just like, oh my God, I can just go sleep in any minute. Like, I'm so tired. And um, but the different ones have to do with where you are vibratory match to whatever is going on. And so this is the thing, is where I heard one saying, if you are having any things and you're not a vibratory match or whatever, but I know, what I have been doing the work and stuff. I know that I'm not reactive like I was before and stuff. So I know that my vibration has been changing and stuff. And then, so I know that I'm not out of alignment with the energies coming in. But there's, to me, also a draining. But anyways, just don't get caught up. If you've been doing the work and stuff, don't be thinking like, oh, well, now I got ascension symptoms or something, so obviously I'm not good. I'm not, where I thought I was. Don't, that's their interpretation. There's like so much with the energy, and it can be the energies around you. It's just so much, when you don't, if you're feeling drained, if you're feeling sick, or anything. To me, it is partly why some of the people lose their minds, though, why they start going so crazy. So when if a vibration is going and the chatter starts going in your mind, just try and find a control inside of you over your emotional balance. And that is where, steering yourself into not going off the cliff, because there's a lot of these people who just don't have any, there's just like the thoughts and the emotions, they can't control them. They're just fucking veering out and going crazy. And but that is going to be a part of like this big connection. It's going to almost kind of drive some people crazy. So and this is just the energy just coming in. Once it just is like boom, lights come on, it's going to be a real challenge for some people. And that's why there's going to be mass suicide, which there was a news story, which I don't even know if this is for real news story. This guy who was showing it was saying that this kid was on his news, and he just can't even believe it. But then it's like, well, could he be as devious as to be making this stuff, the whole news thing using AI or something? I don't know. Because some of this shit is so absurd. It's hard to believe that this could be on the news. But I saw the news thing, but I was like, man, I don't know. But this one in some city where a woman was found chopped up in 52 pieces or something, and then they just ruled it suicide. Guys, like, what the fuck? So, but that's the absurd shit that would be happening to get us to question things like, what? How in the world can someone chop themselves up in suicide? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So, but that's how absurd things can be, because people just go along with every story, just don't pay any attention. But they just have to get stupider and crazier and more absurd and see. Like, the news is full of shit. There's a lot of shit throwing bullshit. like because there has been, I mean, even Kurt Cobain, was two shots Well, he did it to himself. Okay. So he shot himself. Well, I think I'm still alive. I'm still reload. There's been other ones too. There's been lots where they've said that it's that they did it to themselves. It was like, no fucking way. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if it had to get that absurd. Like somebody chopped themselves up to kill themselves. Because I've seen ones where there was one where this was like a rich lady too. And I don't even remember the whole story. She's probably married to some producer or something. But anyways, she's found like hanging, taped. Her hands and feet are taped behind her or tied up behind her, feet tied up behind her. And then she's found like, and so they're saying, oh no, she did that all to herself. Like, okay. Like, boy, I don't know. It seemed like there's a simpler way than to go tie yourself up and get yourself on a noose and throw yourself off a balcony. I don't know about that. But anyways, this is the absurd bullshit of the investigation and the media and the cahoots that they create of covering story, like they just make shit up. And it's like cover stories. And what really goes on is different than what they tell. And they're trying to tell us like they're giving us the hottest news. No, you're just a bunch of people on scripts giving us bullshit stories. So, anyways, things to watch for to me would be the money talking, things, and it can come in hot, can come in and teeter, and all of a sudden some collapse happen on the street or the house, the whatever, anything on the market. Something's gonna go. But when it does, that's going to be a positive, where it's all these people aren't expecting it. It's going to be real negative. It's going to be real hard. It's like, fuck, it's the best thing that's ever happened to us. So that and peace talks, we'll see. We'll see, if there's going to be some annihilations going with some trigger happy missiles shooting thing, because supposedly we got some aimed at us and we got all sorts of stuff going. And then yesterday, supposedly, there was a bunch of power outages that were out, and it was like, well, we have no idea. All of LA is out, all of Dallas is out, all of New York is out. So I don't know of what's up. I know ours went out the other day for no reason. It was out all day. And then, and they didn't even give a reason. It was just like, well, just went out. And so, and it can be to me, because when it did, it was like, okay, this is what we need, this is what we need, this is what we need, because fuck, all day is rough stuff. It's gonna be a week or two. It's gonna be rough, man. And so, and not knowing what's going on, it's going to be rough if that's how it's going to go. Like, they're going to turn it off for a week or two. So, and if it's going to be right on the heels of some kind of big thing, like, oh, there's a missile coming and no power. And everybody's just sitting there like, what the hell happened? What happened? What's going on? Is there more coming? It's going to be kind of like that. Like, you don't know. But that you don't know is what draws in people into internal. That's the come to Jesus moment. That's dropping to their knees. Please let there be. So that's what the occurrence, the coming to Christ, coming back, is that people to focus, to get their focus where it should be. And that's the turning on their soul. It's like, oh, you called? I'm here for you. Let's talk about it. And what did you do last week? Because I didn't like it one bit. So it's going to be a lot. It's going to happen real quick. So, anyways, but let's look at my hair. Because now I swear I'm in a fucking order of goddamn shoes again. Just going to get another batch of them. What the hell? It's $40. And who knows? Oh, and yesterday, because my tooth hasn't been hurting, so that's one thing too. Like, if you have something like an infection or something, it won't be hurting and building and suddenly drop off. I kept feeling like, I bet you it's something with the energy. It's so intense, man. And so I was thinking it's something with that, or if it's something with my nerves, I don't know. But it's gone the other direction now. It's not building towards, it's stopped. So now I would say, oh, I don't think I have an infection in there. I think it's just a sensitivity. But yesterday when I looked, it did look like enamel was finally going over, and like it needs a protection. Like, get some protection on here, man. And so I'm hoping that, let's look. Uh, uh, it's very sensitive when the wind, when the coolness or whatever comes on there. Uh, So hopefully it is like the enamel starting to build up. Hopefully it got enough of the dentin or whatever the inside of the tooth is built out enough. Now it's going to start putting on the hard surface that will be more protective, that will make it less sensitive, because I don't feel like there's an infection in there now because of the direction it's going. So anyways, I feel positive about that. If so, let me think if there was something else. There's just lots of weird shit, lots of weird things are going to keep happening. People are going to keep, I don't know, it's just like all over the place. It's like everything that can happen is happening. And so everything is all over the place. It's going to keep being like scattered and crazy and different opinions about all these different things. But there's going to be a moment in time that's going to pull everyone's focus. So everybody's all over the place, out here screaming in fear and this and that and anger and all this stuff, while other people are back in the dark doing it, and the sickness is coming in hard. So there's going to be all this, it's all this thing going to just jolt into a common, everybody's looking at the same thing at the same time. It's just like, boom. And that's where things are going to take a big shift. And so, but anyways, we'll see how it goes, because there's a lot of things that have to shift. Because even when that moment in time occurs and everybody suddenly is on seeing, I want to say on the same page, but it's going to be, we're all looking at the same page. And then it's going to be more obvious how we're looking at it to ourselves. And so then we have to question ourselves. Well, why am I looking at it this way? Why are they looking at it that way? Because right now, all it is creating division and anger and stuff. But people don't realize, well, that division is coming from you, because you can't accept people who are different than you. You need everybody to be the same as you, or you can't be happy. And so that's where people are going to start seeing for themselves, like, oh, I don't care. You can like who you want. Like, why do I care? But right now, it's so built up on this tension, because this guy, he's out to get us. And, you know, it's just so, it's so silly. I mean, because, you know, he didn't do it the last time. He was doing a lot of good stuff. Then he lost to the people who really are, you know, in control and can run the numbers out they want. So, you know, if he's such a badass, such a mean, horrible guy, how is he always getting stomped by these other ones? Because now they're out there trying to stomp him. They've tried to kill him like 10 times or something. So it's just like, it's so crazy, because these people think he's the bad guy. It's like, you guys are just standing out in front of the bad guys, and you're being a bully, because that guy is not the bad guy that you guys don't see. Well, you're just being bullies for these guys, because these guys don't like him because he's trying to do good stuff. So anyways, we'll see. We'll see how it all goes and how it all plays out. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 7, 1, 8. All the numbers, they're all coming. Everything is going into alignment. Everything is working out in our favor. Everything is going good. And some people, they won't be able to accept it. And that is going to be what holds them back, because they still have other experiences, because it's programmed into you. However it goes down for you, it's programmed into you. Just ride the wave, baby. Just ride the wave. And remember, looking at how to love yourself. That's, you never go wrong. We'll learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody, and how to have the day you want to have, because it's up to you. So anyways, we'll talk about it again tomorrow. We'll see what happens today, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. So talk to you later. Bye.